if I were to use a magic wand to, say, get new sponsors or um, permanently make our growth 100% month over month, I feel as if that would take away sort of fun of the entrepreneurship. The idea of entrepreneurship is really to face these challenges, work through them, and through that you learn and you grow and you take some certain principles and you can apply it to other areas, whether that's a different company in the future or just personal growth. I think that's really what it's about, and that's something I really value about this. I would have joined a different journal rather than starting my own if I didn't want that oversight. But I do like working through these entrepreneurship challenges.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Business of Learning podcast. My name is Joao Camargo, and my guest here today is Syed Siddiqi, who's the CEO and founder of the American Journal of Healthcare Strategy. Syed, thank you so much for being here today. I'm really, really excited to have this conversation.
Of course. Thank you for inviting me on, Joao. Huge fan of your work and happy to be involved.
Amazing. Why don't we start off with you just telling everyone a little bit more about the business, a little bit more context on who you guys are, who you help, and anything else that you'd like to share about the company for anyone that's listening in.
Yeah, of course. So I'm the CEO and founder of the American Journal of Healthcare Strategy. I founded it in 2023 when I was in my senior year of college. Uh, I did a bunch of different research for my courses, and during that time, uh, there was a big issue in accessing certain types of information. So if you want to reach a research article, you usually have to be affiliated with the university to reach that.
Mm,
And I've always been a huge fan of doing my own research and just just for general knowledge and also for writing different opinion editorials and things like that. And a big worry was, how will I access this information when um, I'm no longer a student?
mm-hmm,
So, I use that as inspiration. It was sort of in the back of my head. During that time, I was working, part-time at Jefferson Health, and I was working in the facial plastics division. In the facial plastics division, a big issue that we had was patient wait times. So, I suggested a new option. uh Luckily, as a part-time employee, they actually listened to me. There's some great mentors there, and they really support me
mm-hmm,
still to this day. And that actually slashed patient wait time by 16%.
mm,
So, taking that information, my dad, I was telling him about my big success, still in college, still made it an impact. Happy to be involved in the healthcare industry. And he said I should take my findings and publish it. When I went online trying to find a place to publish, I was faced with a few different issues.
mm,
The first one was a lot of the journals that are out there, they charge you to publish.
hmm,
Um, Another thing that was there is you have to pay to read anything. Um, and the third thing was you need to be from uh, a high level. So say you need a PhD or an MD or any sort of high doctorate level to really be listened to in the industry and listened to by other professionals. Despite
mm-hmm,
my data proven solution to a big issue in healthcare, which was patient wait time, I did not have the option to really showcase my findings and maybe help other clinics that are involved in the space. Uh,
mm-hmm,
this really motivated me, the lack of access to academic journals and also trying to find a place where all voices can be heard. It really
mm-hmm,
motivated me to find the American Journal of Healthcare Strategy. And what I found was over the past 2 years, it really blew up in a way. A lot of people were fans of this new outlook. Um, we got a tremendous amount of support for, uh I don't like to I think the word disruptive is a little
mm-hmm.
overused in,
Sure.
entrepreneurship, but, um, I like to believe that we really change how things are run in academic publishing, and we really provide a platform for not just high-level individuals affiliated with the university, but rather anyone that has something to share that's very insightful with the healthcare industry without any barriers to knowledge, without any barriers to reading or submitting
Mm-hmm.
or anything like that. So I'm really proud of the journal and the team that has helped me build it up.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing all that. And I think I mentioned to you in our first conversation as well. I also faced some of the same challenges you did when I was in university going through my bachelor's in kinesiology. So many paywalls, so many different things that as a university student, I definitely did not have the money for back then. So it's like, how do I gauge wanting to learn and needing a lot of this information, but then not being able to acquire and do all the learning that I want. So it's really such a cool concept that you've developed here. So tell me a little bit more about the one. It seems the response has been pretty positive from people, and two, how are you guys able to really differentiate yourselves from the usual journals, but also put yourself out there that hey, this is a platform that can be used, can be leveraged, and can be um, a difference maker in spreading a lot more knowledge and spreading a lot more information out there for the world.
Yeah. So as for the first question, we in the beginning there have been a few issues in really getting our brand name out there. A big thing in academic publishing is who's reading it, who's citing your work. At that time, we didn't have anyone submitting to us, so we didn't have work, and no one was reading it because there was again no work. So we
Hmm.
ended up doing things in house. From there, we realized that something that really did get a lot of attraction was interviews with different individuals. At that time, we were writing Q&A format, written articles. Uh, from there, we transitioned to exactly what you're doing right now with the podcast, video interviews. And from there,
Hmm.
we realized that the bigger the profile got for individuals, they would like and share across all their social media feeds, bringing more attention to us and we basically gave them a platform to share ideas, and in return, they opened their connection base to us for more people to subscribe and cite our work and reference it. So it
Hmm.
was really a big partnership with different high level thought leaders in the industry, and that really skyrocketed our growth. And I'm proud to say that we currently have 50,000 monthly readers, 13,000
Awesome.
executive level subscribers to date, and uh,
Congrats.
we haven't even hit the 2-year mark yet. We will in 1 month, so,
There you
but
go.
I'm really happy with that growth. Um, but yeah, no, it's been super fantastic, um, and the support from the readers has also been, very tremendous. Now we get people, re asking us if they can hop on the podcast or contribute an article. In the beginning, we
Hmm.
were mainly having to solicit articles and solicit people who would hop on, so
Hmm.
it's really amazing.
That's really awesome. And then tell me a little bit more about the um, that ability that people and companies now have to put their message out there, to put their articles on the journal, and just have that freedom that maybe wasn't possible otherwise, or was possible, but through many different layers that they have to go through, be it monetary layers or maybe some bureaucratic layers to get all that done. How well are people taking that new way of doing things? And do you think that trend is going to keep going in that same direction?
Well, I do hope that it goes in the same direction. I actually recently written an opinion editorial that just got published, and it essentially described how there's uh, over 50% of journals are still behind a paywall. Although the industry is shifting to more open access, a big way that they're doing that is through charging the authors to submit. And
Mm,
what I see is that you shouldn't really say you do an entire research study, you write an article, you get it peer reviewed by all your colleagues, and then you submit it. Now, to even get it out there, just by doing all of the work from our publishers end, we really just gotta do a few technical things. Um,
mhm,
but the authors that did all the work, they have to pay us, and
mhm,
I don't necessarily agree with that. So we I'm we don't charge any author processing charges in addition to being open access. So
mhm,
I really hope that the industry moves more towards that direction. um, this has definitely been supported by a lot of different researchers in universities and even
mhm,
just different individuals working in industry. Um, they really want a platform to really share their findings and bring highlights to their own organization or themselves as a thought leader. They're really supportive, I don't think there's much support from other academic publishers who are sort of making money off of the
Hmm.
the original way things worked, where, like I said, authors pay, readers pay, universities pay even bigger packages for access. Uh, I don't think they're a fan of things being shifted because at the end of the day, there's less money involved, and money is
Hmm.
really the motivation for a lot of organizations. But I think that what's more important than money is equitable access to healthcare knowledge. You can't put a price tag on quality healthcare.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And I would love to actually shift the conversation into exactly that, which is that monetary side of things. Someone might be listening to this right now and is like, okay, great. So there is no paywall, no nothing, but how is it possible to keep the business going and keep the growth of the company coming through there? So, um, not to go into the exact details on how the revenue streams work and all those things, but how are you guys able to keep the company growing and making sure that you reach that impact that you want to have? And what are some of the challenges in doing that when there is no payment like the usual publishers and usual journals that exist?
Yeah. So the way we have things run is, like I said, authors don't get charged, readers don't get charged. Who does get charged are sponsors and advertisers, and I see this as a better relationship because the readers benefit, the authors benefit, and the organizations that sponsor us benefit because uh, as we grow and we do have a faster growth solely because our resources are very accessible, and that's just gonna define faster growth compared to organizations that are behind paywalls. Um,
Hmm.
as we grow more, the sponsors get more viewership on their company. They get more clicks that redirect to their website, and they're more inclined to partner with us because of this fast growth. So I see it as uh, all four parties, which is readers, authors, us, and the organization sponsoring us. I see us as all winning through this framework. And uh, like
Mm.
I said, this is generally not done in the
Hmm.
industry, but I
Yeah.
think it should be done more. I like to think that the American Journal of Healthcare Strategy is uh, a sort of way to show that what is necessarily deemed as not possible, with paying for DOIs and different indexing and journal operations, things like that. I like to show them that it is possible while retaining these morals of equitable access to knowledge.
Mhm. Mhm. Awesome, and it really sounds like it they all kind of feed into each other, like you said, like those 4 corners because of the way that things are structured, then this when this one benefits, and then this one benefits, and then there's just like that positive loop cycle that goes through with everybody helping each other without any hurdles to be hopped over in that sequence. That's kind of what it
Yeah.
sounds like to me as well.
Yep. Yeah, no,
Awesome.
that's
Very, very
exactly
cool.
what it is.
And I'll
It's interesting to see how they all relate to each other in a way, and everyone ends up coming out on top. So I think
Mhm.
that is the best way.
Awesome. Saeed, I will love to ask a question that I ask almost every single guest that I have on as well, which is this. Let's say you had a magic wand that you could wave to solve one challenge within the company. Something that you can control, something that's part of your day to day, maybe just knocking on your door all the time. And you're like, oh, this thing again that I have to deal with. That if you solve, you're able to achieve all the growth that you're looking for, all the impact, all the revenue targets, all the partnerships, sponsors, whatever that might be. You wave that wand, and out of the many priorities that as business owners and leaders we have, you get to solve one. What's the one that you want to solve to achieve all the growth that you're looking for?
Um, so I'm kind of a big picture kind of guy. I like to look at oversight over finances. I like to look at our marketing, tracking trends and things like that. One thing that really gets me, which in the beginning, I enjoyed it because I love to learn, and as a newcomer to publishing, uh, this really taught me a lot. But now it's becoming way too routine. It's really just assigning DOIs and uh, copy pasting it into our journal format for publishing. Working through the format, the technicalities, setting a schedule date, and going from there. Is definitely something that's easy to delegate to different individuals, but I don't see them enjoying this as well, solely because of how repetitive it can get. So, uh, if
Hmm.
every submission that came in, it was properly formatted, already scheduled, that would be truly amazing. That can't be the case because no, no author knows our scheduling timeline. No
Hmm.
author knows our specific format and things like that. So I would say that would be the main thing, that I would do away with. I feel like a few of my colleagues might say, "Oh, I wish we had more sponsors," or "Oh, I wish we had faster growth." I like working through the challenges of how do we get more sponsors? Here's a new solution to this. This is our new strategy. Or how do we get faster growth? This is a new solution to how we can grow faster. I like looking at the
Hmm.
data, the trends. If I see a dip, I like working through my different solutions and business methods to turn that dip around. I actually enjoy that part. What gets me is really that repetitive technicality portion.
Mm. Mm. Interesting. It's interesting to hear that because I would have assumed that your answer was going to be the one that you said your colleagues might say, which is looking for that growth, all those things, as opposed to like the tedious task side of things. Why do you think that's why do you think that's the thing that would be able to unlock the massive growth or the next level of growth for the company?
Well, I believe that the tedious task, although important, is at the end of the day tedious, only solely through
Hmm.
the repetition of it. Um, I believe that if that was sort of handled by this magic wand, I would be able to divert 100% of my time towards these bigger picture things and work on it, refine my skills, and go from there. If I were to use the magic wand
Hmm.
to, say, get new sponsors or um, permanently make our growth 100% month over month, um, I feel as if that would take away sort of fun of the entrepreneurship uh, idea. The idea of entrepreneurship is really to face these challenges, work through them, and through that you learn and you grow, and you take some certain principles and you can apply it to other areas, whether that's a different company in the future or just personal growth. I think that's really what it's about, and that's something I really value about this. I
Mm.
would have joined
Interesting.
yeah, I would have joined a different journal rather than starting my own if it was, uh, if I didn't want that oversight, you know? But I do like working through these entrepreneurship challenges.
Very interesting. Thank you for sharing that. Definitely not the answer I was expecting, but it's your answer, so I'll definitely take it. Thank you. And then I have one final question here for you, Saeed, which is actually, funnily enough, not a question from me. It's a question from our last guest to you, and they had no idea who you were. So, are you ready for the question?
Ah, bit nervous, but let's do it.
Yeah, this is actually an interesting one. I've never heard this question before, and as soon as the last guest said it, I was like, I cannot wait to hear this answer. So, this is an interesting one. You ready for it? Here it is. I am going to give you a full grown adult elephant. You cannot sell the elephant. You cannot give the elephant away. What are you going to do with this elephant?
Hmm. Full-grown elephant, can't give it away, can't sell it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question. I'm not uh, I don't know, I guess giving it away is giving up ownership of this elephant. Is that correct?
That is
Um,
correct, and you cannot do it.
alright, well, I would still be the owner, but I might just have to put it in sort of like a zoo or safari or something, and in words, I'm the owner, but, uh, really it's out free in nature.
Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. So just doing what you can to get it back into like more so of a natural habitat.
Right, exactly. You put it in a natural habitat, use, the made up term of "I still own the elephant," um, go from there, it's all arbitrary.
Trying to
It
maneuver your way around it.
right. Do you think the last guest came up with this question, or, is it something that's been out
He said that this is a question. Yeah, so this is actually he said it, this is a question that he often asks in interviews. So it's a of course like it is a very weird question. I was like, "Oh, this is weird. I never heard this before." And what he said to me is, it's not even about the question itself. Like he could care less about the not care less about the elephant, but more so, hey, this is the situation. what is the person answering the question going to think? What's the resourcefulness that they're going to use on how they're going to use the elephant? He said someone was like, "Hey, maybe I'll do a social media page for the elephant," and now the elephant becomes a an influencer to now support itself because there's obviously also capital that gets involved with keeping that. Some people are like, "Hey, I'll start renting the elephants for education purposes, all these things." So there's a million other things. So it was like, hey, it's just an interesting question to see how people process and how they get creative with their answers, all those things as well. So yeah, that was his question, and an intriguing one for you as well.
Yeah, definitely intriguing.
Amazing.
I'm
Say.
sure I did not get that job, but it's definitely something to think about.
Well, at least you have your own company, so you don't have to apply for his company in any case. So,
There we go.
Saeed, thank you so much for your time. This has been yeah, this has been such a great conversation. I appreciate you being here, sharing your insights and sharing about what you're doing. Where should people go if they want to learn a little bit more about you, and of course, also a little bit more about the company?
Of course, Joe. I really appreciate you bringing me on and asking me these questions. It's a lot to think about. I like the reflection on how things are going. I like uh, I feel as if these questions are things that let me analyze the company as a big picture, and from a user's point of view rather than someone that's working in the company. So yeah, I really like those
Hmm.
questions and appreciate it. For anyone listening, we could be found on the website, ajhcs.org. We're on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, everything you can think of. So feel free to check us out.
Amazing. Yeah, I will leave everything down below here if you do want to check anything out. And if you're still watching, listening in up until this point, and you want to hear more conversations like this, please hit the subscribe button, and I will see you on the next episode. Saeed, thanks again for your time.
Of course. Take care, Joe.